Hi, I'm Robert Osborne, and welcome. Right now, we're going to check in with our TCM guest programmer for this month, writer, director, and producer Edgar Wright. Edgar's a filmmaker who loves movies from all eras, and it shows in his work, like his comedy Shaun of the Dead, which has been described as a zombie rom-com, meaning a romantic comedy about zombies. Also his cult favorite, Hot Fuzz, and most recently, his sci-fi spoof, The World's End. Welcome, Edgar.
Thanks for having us.
Good to have you here.
Lovely to be here.
Good. Well, as our guest programmer for June, Edgar's first pick is the over-the-top musical from 1934 from Warner Brothers, Dames, starring Joan Blondell, Dick Powell, and Ruby Keeler, with choreography from the wild imagination of just one man, Busby Berkeley, who also co-directed the film with Ray and Wright. Now, this really surprised me that you'd be into Busby Berkeley and Dames. When did you kind of get into films?
Well, I think the fact that you said over the top is maybe one of the reasons that I like Busby Berkeley. I think he's one of the directors that I was aware of because my mother spoke about him a lot. So I always thought it was interesting. There's a few directors that their name alone conjures up an image, and that you know when you hear the word Busby Berkeley, that the first vision that comes into your head is an overhead shot of geometrical dancers. And so I think maybe I had seen a lot of spoofs of Busby Berkeley, like in things like the Muppet Movie or some other, like, you know, comedy kind of shows before I'd actually seen the movies themselves. And then when I did, there's just something about kind of like his style which really like inspires me. I find it kind of hypnotic. One of the things that was interesting about him is he wasn't actually a dancer himself.
Right.
Like he had been a stage kid on Broadway. Then in World War I, he had become a drill instructor. And so he had been in charge of like the sort of the officers' drills, and that comes across in the choreography. And then the other thing I think is interesting is that he was apparently, he did aerial reconnaissance in World War I. And so then he's obsessed with that overhead shot. So the thing that's interesting to me about Busby Berkeley is even though he had lots of Broadway experience, all of the shots that he's famous for are all things that you cannot see through the proscenium arch. So the thing that I love about these movies, especially all the Warner Brothers ones, and Dames being my favorite of like his Warner Brothers run, there's a hypnotic magic to them, and there's nothing else on screen quite like it.
Right. You said it very well. Now let's have a look. Here it is, also with a great group of expert character actors and old reliables such as Zasu Pitts, Hugh Herbert, and Guy Kibbe. We bring you Dames. What a fun movie. So many incredible musical numbers in that film. And I'm back with the man who selected Dames for us tonight, TCM's guest programmer, Edgar Wright. Do you have a favorite number in the movie?
I Only Have Eyes for You. The Ruby Keeler number is just incredible. And it's such a huge influence on music videos throughout the ages. I mean, Michel Gondry, the great French director, has done riffs on that particular number, you know, many times. But that one is just amazing.
How did you first get interested in film?